So I know that lately I haven't been doing a lot of layout videos, and that's because I haven't really liked my 12 by 12 layouts lately. Been having kind of a block about them. This is one I did recently. I used a large photo and I decorated to be the front page in my Disney album. This is one from my dad's birthday. This is one where I was trying something to be grungy and distressed about Cirque du Soleil. Now here's one that I'm pretty happy with. It's was for a challenge, and it's another Disney layout. And was from Miniature Golf that had like a Christmas theme. So that's why we're in shorts, but playing miniature golf, but it's all decorated like Christmas. So I actually was pretty happy with this one, but I struggled with it a lot and changed a lot of things. And so now I'm working on this one. This is what I've got so far. I cut this off another page, and I put diamond glaze on the little circles so they look like epoxy, and I also decorated her dress and the sign. So I'm going to put that, pop it up over that. And then I have pictures of this teddy bear, this toy that I've had forever. So I'm going to go ahead and get started and try and do something with this, and hopefully it turns out.
Okay, so I'm going to continue with the layout, and the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to remove the dimensional adhesive and attach this portion of the layout over the area where I want it to be popped up off from, to make it look more dimensional and more collage-like. Even though this paper is pretty dimensional and collage-like as it is, I thought this would give another element to the page. So now I'm just going to figure out how to do my title, and what I want to do is I want to put 29 years of love, because that's how long I've had this bear. So I'm just didn't like how the letters and other elements were looking on that paper I had originally chosen, so now I'm going to use this paper as a background, and I actually like that it carries the blue polka dots from the left side of the page onto the right side of the page, so I think it's a better choice overall. And so I'm going to cut a 3-inch strip from this other piece, which I was originally going to use, and I'm going to use that as a place for my title. And I'm eventually going to pop it up on dimensional adhesive, but first I'm going to distress the bottom edge to give it more texture, and I'm using my Tim Holtz distressor, edge distressor. And to rip up the edge, and then the 3 other remaining edges, I'm going to use my Colorbox Fluid Chalk ink in Robin's Egg Blue to bring in some more of that blue. So before I put this on dimensional adhesive, I'm going to put the title on it, and I want to color these chipboard elements. So I'm using cyan to color the 2 and the 9 for 29. And then that little small tag there, I'm going to cover in red. And the red pad fell off my ink, so I'm just using a baby wipe to hold it so I don't get ink all over my fingers. And then I'm reattaching it with some glossy accents so it shouldn't fall off again. And what I'm doing here is I'm putting this, I feel I'm going to be cutting with my craft knife. So I put the paper under my glass mat, and I'm putting the title over my glass mat so I have an area to work. And I think I want to use these 2 sets of thickers, which are the vinyl, but I'm not 100% positive, so I'm actually going to cut them off their backing sheet and lay them down to make sure I want them. And the reason I'm doing this is because the vinyl thickers leave a residue. If you put them down one place and then peel them up, they will leave a gluey residue, so I want to just make sure that they don't do that. I didn't like the love. I didn't think it was a bold enough color, so I decided on these Cosmo Cricket letters, but they were too black, so I wanted to pop them off some color, and so I thought a red heart would work, and I like the way that looks, but this heart wasn't actually big enough, so I'm going to cut a larger heart, and I think that looks much better. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start putting down the rest of the elements. I'm going to use the Making Memories Tiny Alphas in white to put years on the little tag. And I'm going to use my Tim Holtz Distress ink in Black Soot to distress, just put a black edge around the heart, just so it ties in more with the black letters. And I just use a makeup sponge as an applicator for my distress inks. I buy large bags of makeup sponges from beauty supply stores, and they work very well for me, and they're very inexpensive. So now I'm just going to start putting stuff down using my ATG. I'm going to place my heart where I want it and just peel the backing off these letters. And I'm starting with the V, and I'm putting it just to the center, and that means that love will be spaced pretty evenly across the heart. And the rest of the elements I'm going to glue down with glossy accents. This chipboard is not adhesive, so it needs it. And then the vinyl letters, the vinyl thickers don't stick very well, so I always put vinyl thickers on with glossy accents as well, just to give them some more stick. And so here's a close-up of how the title looks. And now I'm going to cover 2 chipboard tags from Creative Imaginations with these 2 photos. They are made of shiny white material, is covering the chipboard. So I used a sanding block to sand over the chipboard so that the ATG had something with more of a tooth to stick to. And now I'm just covering the back of the pictures with adhesive from my ATG so I can stick it down. And I'll be using my craft knife to trim out the photos. And after I finish trimming them out, I'm going to use a sander to make sure the edges are very smooth. So just finishing up the sanding. And there's my 2 tags. Now, one of the pictures was not large enough to cover the entire tag, so I'm just going to use this strip of red and blue here from what I have left over from the sheet I used to pop off the other page